Well, let's talk now to Rana Rahimpour from BBC Persian. Rana, why do you think the Iranians have chosen to do this now?
I don't think the Iranians have chosen this. They're finally invited to it. Until now, there was resistance from the US and the Saudi Arabia, and finally they have decided to get Iran involved.
Now, according to Iran's Fars news agency, Foreign Minister Zarif discussed taking part in these Vienna talks with the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov by the phone on Tuesday. How do you understand the chronology to have happened? What have you been hearing out of the country?
So how we got here, I think there are different elements that were very important. The Russian military intervention in Syria was one of the reasons that they decided to get Iran involved. The fact that Iran has lost a number of forces, the reports say that about 20 Iranian forces, including some high-ranking commanders, have been killed in recent weeks in Syria. So there are different factors why they've decided that this can't go on for long and they have to negotiate a political solution, which is something that Iran has repeatedly said, but it's time, and I think everyone has agreed that there is a stalemate and it's a deadlock and they have to get out of it.
Yeah, these talks due to take place on Friday. But where realistically is the middle ground here, Rana? Because Russia and Iran have insisted that Mr. Assad must be part of any transition government and that the Syrian people must be allowed to decide who governs them. But equally, the US has been adamant in saying that President Assad could only be part of a very short-term transition period.
I think it's all a matter of timing and whether they can agree on a time frame about when President Assad will leave. And recently we had Mr. Assad saying that if the people of Syria decide that they don't want him, he's happy to step down. And I think it also depends on what will come out of these negotiations on Friday. Having said that, I don't think there will be a solution in near future. There are so many different parties involved in the conflict in Syria. It's not like the Iran nuclear deal when we had 6 countries on one side and Iran on the other side. So there's so many different factors that have to come to an agreement, which I think will be a very long process.
Yes, you say so many different factions at play here. And Rana, just remind us on the Iranian position on Syria, because they've long acknowledged that they're sending military advisors to the country, but they've denied the presence of any ground forces. But we have had these unconfirmed reports earlier in the month that hundreds of Iranian troops had arrived on Syrian soil. So just bring us up to date with the Iranian position.
Iran still denies this. And the deputy commander of IRGC, Iran Revolutionary Guards, was questioned on television a few days ago about why a large number of Iranian forces are being killed. And he said they're all advisors. Iran's role is advisory. But it's a fact that Iran has militarily helped. They have sent weapons. They have spent a large amount of money in Syria to support Mr. Assad, which will carry on. I don't think these talks will change that at all.
OK, Rana, we're going to have to leave it there. But Rana Rahimpour from BBC Persian, many thanks for bringing us that perspective on these talks. Historic talks on Syria due to take place in Vienna on Friday, and also later